Hi, and welcome back to DIY Relationship Repair. Now that we've talked about how to kill a relationship, let's talk about the things that you should never, ever, ever, ever do
Never,
in
ever, 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 ever,
a
never.
relationship. Definitely. Not in
No.
any kind of relationship, not just romantic,
Yeah.
but especially romantic.
So the first one would be criticism.
To criticize,
Yeah.
exactly. That's, criticizing, telling, calling names or telling you how to
Yeah.
do everything or, hovering over and saying you're not doing it right or are you
Right.
going to use that pan or really you're going to have that much to eat, being critical all the time. And there's an antidote for criticism. So
What is it?
if you're doing a lot of criticizing of your partner, first of all, you need to understand that that's what you're doing
Right.
and how that feels. But the antidote for criticizing is I statements, saying I first. So instead of saying you always do it wrong, you never cook dinner, you never do the dishes or whatever, saying I
Would like
would
it.
I would love some help. Yeah.
Yep.
I would like it if you came in the kitchen to help me. Would you mind?
Yep.
Just using I statements or I felt really bad today when we were at the mall and whatever happened,
Right.
right? Like just I statements, taking ownership by saying I first instead of you. You're a jerk. You always do that. I feel upset right now.
Right.
I didn't want you to talk to your parents about our personal business
Right.
or whatever. Because you cannot say how I feel. So I own how I feel. But
Right.
if I say you're a jerk, you can debate that with
Sure.
me.
That's arguable, but
Yeah,
when you're talking about your feelings, there's no arguing them.
I own them, right?
Yep.
You can't argue that
Exactly.
with me. So instead of criticizing your partner, just use I statements. That's a huge one. I get that all the time in
Yep.
my couples. They're criticizing each other. Well, he's stupid. Well, she's this or that.
He did this. She did that. Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's not going to turn your relationship around if you continue to criticize.
Absolutely. However, if you start using those I feel statements,
Exactly.
big difference.
That's the antidote for criticism. So the next one,
Defensiveness.
defense. I'm not defensive. What are you talking about? I never get defensive.
Not me. I
I
didn't
didn't do
it.
that.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you always coming down on me?
So defensiveness is exactly that. Is being defensive. When your partner says something, you instantly snap
Get off
right
my
back.
back.
Yeah, you snap right back at them. Yeah, well, I only did that because I only broke that glass because you put it on the edge.
Right.
Yeah. So what is the antidote for defensiveness?
Personal responsibility.
Personal responsibility, taking responsibility.
Yep.
I
Own
dropped
it.
the glass.
Yeah, you got to own it.
Instead of saying, I only dropped the glass because you put it so close to the edge, I dropped the glass. I'll clean it up.
Yeah.
I broke the glass. I'm sorry, I'll clean it up. Because it might not have been your fault, but it is your responsibility.
Right, that's
so
right.
always, and that applies, if you apply that one little tidbit to everything in your life and always take personal responsibility, your life will do amazing
Yeah.
things. It's going to turn around.
Right.
Because, lots of things happen to us. We have unfortunate things. We have things that are not our fault.
Yeah, so there's a fine line there, I think. So there are those individuals who will accept responsibility for things that aren't their personal responsibility. So you probably one of these people that says I'm sorry for everything, or they just it becomes a habit. They say sorry before everything that they say. That's taking it too far. They're not
Right.
taking personal responsibility. They're taking responsibility for things that aren't theirs.
Exactly. We're talking about owning yourself and
Yep.
the things that you have done, not everything else that he's done or she's done or whatever. So taking personal responsibility. So if you drop a glass, instead of blaming or shaming the other person or being defensive about it, you just say, I dropped a glass, I broke it, I'll clean it up. The end. Taking personal responsibility. Again, things in life will happen to you, and that's not your fault. But no matter what's happened to you, no matter how horrible it is, You are still responsible for how you think about it, how you feel about it, how you act upon it,
Right.
and what you do from now on. So, I deal with I coach a lot of women, and a lot of women, and it's not just women, but I work with a lot of women who have experienced things in the past that have been traumatic. Whether it's sexual abuse or molestation, things like that. Absolutely not your fault. Those are horrible things. They're not your fault.
Right.
But it is your responsibility with how you deal with that from now on.
Absolutely.
So take personal responsibility. I guarantee you that is where your power is. That is how you find your power, not only in your personal life through yourself, but in your relationship.
Absolutely.
Because your partner will love how confident you are when you show that you're really taking responsibility for yourself, for your life, for your thoughts, for your behaviors.
Yes. So a really good example of that is siblings or twins that have grown up in the same environment, and one of them follows suit and becomes the exact environment that they hated and were subjected to, and the other one excels and goes above and beyond.
What's that thing we read? A set of twins had an alcoholic father.
Right.
And one of them, they interviewed the twins, and one of the twins said, "I'm an alcoholic because I had an alcoholic father." And then the other twin says, "I'm not an alcoholic, and I'll never be an alcoholic because I had an alcoholic father."
Right. Yeah.
So
it's all about owning that and making it yours.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
overcoming that. Yeah,
That's a
definitely.
good example. Thank you.
You bet.
So the next thing to never, ever, ever, ever do is contempt. Being contemptuous. That's that snarkiness and sarcasm and "Don't worry, I got this."
Right.
It's
Sarcasm's a big one here.
facial, that angst on your face, that
Right.
dirty looks, and
Yeah, and
voice tone.
it's like holding a grudge, right? So
Yeah.
how often we hold a grudge, and who is that hurting when you hold a grudge?
Yeah.
Not the person you're holding a grudge against.
Exactly, and I know I've been guilty of this in the past, not in our relationship because
Right.
we're amazing, but but you're contemptuous against somebody, and your voice changes, especially in women. You get
Oh,
tired.
yeah.
Oh, sure, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
There's your face shows it, your voice tone shows it, everything. That's contempt. So
The antidote for that is
the antidote for contempt is
compassion, right?
Compassion
Yeah.
and gratitude. Trying to be compassionate. Compassion is a beautiful and amazing gift that you give to yourself, because carrying around contempt is anger. It's resentment.
Right.
It hurts. It kills you. It's like debilitating to yourself, not just to the other person.
Absolutely.
So trying to have compassion and empathy and saying, "You know what, I'm really upset with this person, but I kind of understand why they did it now. I don't agree with it, and it's not an excuse for their crappy behavior, but you know what, they had a bad day, they had a bad childhood," whatever it is. Just trying to have compassion and understanding for them.
Yeah, so here I think often you see people that confuse forgiveness with compassion or empathy. So you don't have to forgive someone that's done something horrible to you.
Right.
And
you know what? I'm glad you brought that up.
yeah,
I have been dying to talk about that. Because
Okay.
I know, right? Because everybody will tell you that you have to forgive.
yeah,
I mean, it's forgiveness. Everybody needs to forgive this. All the gurus, you've got to forgive. It's not for them, it's for you. You know what? I completely disagree with that.
I also disagree.
I completely disagree. I don't think you have to forgive. I do think you
do
have
not.
to show compassion and empathy.
Absolutely.
Because people do the best they can with what they've got. And people make bad, horrible decisions. And I'm compassionate for that. But I don't forgive that. If somebody hurts my child, or kills my child, or molests my child, or does something really heinous, I'm not going to forgive that.
Right.
And in fact, I don't believe that I'm in a position to offer that forgiveness.
Right.
They
So
need
that's a key point that comes up a lot is people, well, should I forgive him for doing this or that? Well, first of all, did they offer an apology? If
Right.
there's no apology, then there shouldn't be any
Right. Well,
offering
and not
of
only that,
forgiveness.
but I believe that the forgiveness only comes from somebody bigger and higher than me.
Absolutely.
Whether it's your higher power, it's God, it's your universe, whatever words you say, they're the ones that have the power to forgive, okay? So most people, when they feel like they need to forgive, they're not thinking about forgiving the other person. They actually need to forgive themselves.
Yep.
I believe in forgiveness of yourself, absolutely. Because a lot of people, and I've worked with a lot of women that have had trauma, as you know, and it's not the other person. If somebody has raped you or hurt you and been violent, I don't think you should forgive them at all. But I
not.
do think you should forgive yourself.
Yep.
Because we tend to beat ourselves up. We treat ourselves terribly for things that have not been our fault at all.
Yeah.
So taking personal responsibility for how you feel and forgiving yourself, absolutely. But forgiving other people, now we're not talking about everyday stuff. If Thad, accidentally bumps into me and he says, I'm sorry, of course I forgive him.
Right.
Of course there's room in my world for forgiveness. For genuine forgiveness, when people feel sad or sorry that they've hurt somebody, that's completely within your power to forgive them. Absolutely. But for heinous acts or violent crimes, no, I don't think it's okay that you need to forgive. I don't.
Yeah.
I think you need to show compassion and empathy, because anyone who's created a life that's violent or heinous or have done horrible things, they didn't get that way. They didn't get that way on their own. Like every single human that's ever been born in the history of the world started out as an innocent little baby. Every single person. And they became heinous or violent through all of the things that have happened to them over the years, through environment, through bad parenting, through heinous acts being done to them, whatever it is. So for that, I can have compassion and I can have empathy, because I understand that they got that way. Something was so horrible in their life that they got that way. Somebody did something that made them, that created that.
And when you come at it from that angle, it's a lot easier to accept that experience.
And do I forgive the horrible things that they've done? No. It's not my business to forgive them.
Right.
But I can show compassion and empathy.
Yep.
Would I go and hurt them back or be violent? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I will forgive myself, and I will show compassion and empathy, and then I move on.
Yeah.
I don't need to forgive to move on. So
speaking of which,
we went off on a whole tangent on that
let's
one.
move on to
Yeah.
the final thing
So
that you
the
should
final
never
thing to never, ever do in a relationship
is stonewalling.
Stonewalling. And what is stonewalling? That means when you put up a wall and you've just completely blocked yourself off.
Yep.
You don't talk.
Talk to the
You
hand.
don't look. You just, you know what? You do your thing, I'll do my thing. That's stonewalling. When you completely, you're at that part of complete resentment and rejection, and you're just done. Like, I'm just done with you.
Yeah, so how often do we see relationships where couples have stonewalled each other and are essentially cohabitating and expecting that to be an okay situation for themselves and for children in that environment? It does
and
not
it's
work.
just not. It's just not okay. Like, if you live together, I mean, how hard is it to live with somebody that you hate?
Yeah.
That's miserable.
Right.
I know personally, I've been there. We've had previous relationships. I've done that. It's not fun. It sucks, frankly.
Yeah.
So the antidote for stonewalling is to self-soothe. Now, what self-soothing means, it means taking care of yourself. Doing things that fill you up. So for me personally, and everyone's different, for me personally, self-soothing means meditation.
Mm-hmm.
It means my yoga practice. Those are things that I do every day anyway, which are self-soothing, which that's a whole nother topic. But seriously, you should be doing things every single day to fill yourself up. And we should talk about me, we, us in a minute. But,
my self-soothing is driving the tractor around.
Yeah, so those are things, if you're feeling like you want to put up that wall, you need to say in your relationship, you need to say to your partner, look, I need 20 minutes.
Yep.
Let's revisit this, or a day. I mean, however long it is, you might say, look, this is something that's really huge,
Yeah.
and I don't know how to solve this, and I don't know how to feel okay about it right now. So I need to go make myself feel okay.
Yep.
So I'll meet you in 2 hours, and we'll revisit it then. But I need to go take care of myself. So everyone self-soothes in a different way. Some people it's physical. Some people it just might be rubbing your hand. Some people might need to take a walk or go meditate in the woods or ride the tractor or whatever it is. Give your man his space if he needs some. And I'm sure you would say give your woman her
Right.
space as well.
Absolutely.
So self-soothing is the antidote for stonewalling. When you're getting to that place where you're just pushing the other person away, you've got to take care of yourself. And that's where the me, we, us comes in.
Yep.
So me, we, us is how I tell people how to prioritize the hierarchy of your relationship.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's me first, we second, us last.
Yep.
Now, I know that sounds counterintuitive to what everybody says,
Yep.
but it's not. Because you are you first. You are human first. Then you come together as a couple.
Right.
If I don't take care of myself first, and I'm not talking about being selfish, like I get the first piece of cake. I'm talking about taking care of myself, my health, my emotional needs, my
Yeah.
spiritual needs. And my husband does that for me too, because he loves me and he cares about me, and because he respects the fact that I am a whole person.
Right.
So I take care of myself. I eat what I need to eat. I exercise. I take care of my health. And I prioritize that every single solitary day because it helps me stay whole.
Right. Yeah, and so if you're taking care of yourself and you're capable of taking care of yourself, that makes your partner's job that much easier, because
That's
even
right.
though they want to do that for you, they appreciate and they understand that you're able to do it for yourself.
Right. And like they can't exercise for you.
Right.
They can't like make your, well, maybe they could, but usually, they don't say eat this, eat this, eat this.
Right.
I mean, you have to take care of yourself. So if you take care of yourself, the me, then your partner is more respects that. I
Right.
mean, I respect that. I don't sit and count out his vitamins. Once in a while I'll say, once a year he goes to the doctor, and after that appointment I'll say, oh, the doctor said you should take some vitamin D, so I got some vitamin D for you. But I don't micromanage
Yeah.
and hover wife him and say every day, did you take your vitamins? Did you do this? Did you do that? Because I trust that he's going to take care of himself.
Right.
Just like I do.
Yep.
So that's the me. And then the we is we take next, after I take care of myself, we take care of
Right.
each other.
And that's the relationship. Our relationship is vital.
Right, and we prioritize it. We prioritize it above everything. We prioritize it above the kids, the family, the work,
Job.
everything.
Yep.
Because
That's the us.
without this, listen, how crappy does everything else in your world feel when you're in a crappy relationship? It feels terrible. So that's why you have to prioritize your relationship. Now, I tell the couples that we work with, you should do 1 hour a day, 1 day a week, and 1 weekend a month. Minimum. So 1 hour a day, you need to spend 1 hour a day together connecting.
Yep.
on a like good level. Quality time. Then you need to do 1 day a week, whether it's a date night or, a breakfast together, whatever. But do something once a week together. Doesn't have to be spending money. Once a week, you could just go for a little
Yeah,
drive.
it doesn't have to be the whole day, but it is
Right.
making a
Making a concerted
appointment,
effort to
so to
do
speak. Yeah.
extra 1 day a week.
Yep.
Some people like to do it every Friday. Some people don't like to schedule a specific day. They just
Right.
wing it like us. We like to wing it.
Yeah.
But every single week. So, and then every single month you spend a weekend together. Now that doesn't mean you have to spend $1 million and go away to a hotel or a vacation. That means that you do something. Hey, the first weekend of the month, let's go to a museum. Let's go kayaking. Let's take a hike. Let's do something together for us. So 1 hour a day, 1 day a week, and then 1 weekend a month to prioritize
Yep.
your relationship. So that's the we, and then so me, we, us, and then us is family.
everybody else.
The family and the kids are lowest, not last, but lowest on the hierarchy, because if there's no me, I have nothing to give. If there's no we have nothing to give. There's no foundation for your family anymore. So if I don't take care of myself, I'm going to be miserable. He's going to be miserable. If we don't take care of our relationship, the kids lose out. If there's kids, if there's family, because
We're
their
coworkers,
foundation,
it's us is everything else.
right,
Yeah.
everything else. So you've got to take care of me, we, us. So those are the things that you should never do in a relationship, and the antidotes and the things that you should do in the relationship. But most of all, before we go, have fun.
Have fun.
Smile, be playful, make opportunities to play together, right? Most people
Yeah.
take life so seriously. Just have some fun together. You know, if your husband pinches you on the butt and, smile and, flick water at him. I don't know, just do some fun stuff.
Oh, waka, waka, waka.
Oh my God. Have a good time. Spend some quality time together. Get to know each other again, because everyone changes. People change throughout the years. And if you're not growing together, then learn more about each other and start to grow together again.
Right on.
You have every opportunity. You have all of the power. If you apply these tools, you can turn your relationship around and you can do it yourself. DIY relationship repair is absolutely within your control. So we hope that you'll reach out to us and tell us how you liked all of these videos and what you thought. And of course, we're always here. We do retreats, we do workshops, and we do couples coaching as well. So thank you so much for joining us. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve you in this way.
Now get to work.
Go love each other. It's that easy. Just go do it. Thanks.